So I want to take a little bit of a turn here. I want to talk about the relationship between the CMO and the CRO. So the question is, that's the traditional and has been the misalignment between these two positions and fundamentally different goals. So therefore, there has to be one go-to-market motion, which means that's why there's a trend. A lot of CROs are sales. They should be chief sales officers. There is a growing trend of there has to be a revenue leader. So a true CRO would actually be looking at all revenue functions in the company.
There's very few true CROs. You might reorganize around that, but just putting somebody who knows sales and calling them a CRO does not make them a revenue leader. It just makes them a glorified sales leader. I'm not saying that you can't have a revenue leader, but as a CMO, CMOs isn't just about pipeline and revenue. It is about the brand reputation of the company, the social impact of the company, every part of the end-to-end company experience the CMO has to look after. I think the big problem is what's happened is that the CMO has become the marketing officer, not market officer. And what that means is it's turned into CMO equals pipeline and brand equals preparation for pipeline versus brand being about goodwill and value of the company all up. And I don't really believe in a CMO reporting to a glorified sales leader. I don't believe in that. You can call it a president, you can call it a CRO, what you want. I think that the CEO owns that. The CEO owns go to market. On the other hand, I am a strong believer in the CMO and the CRO being hand in glove. And what I mean by that is when you walk in the board meeting, there should not be a piece of paper width between you. The board should not be able to divide you. You should be not talking attribution at the board level. You shouldn't be discussing, we didn't hit our number because those sales guys didn't enter their pipeline and so we overspent on this versus that. Absolutely, those could be the reasons, but you better be lined up with that CRO to go in and say, here's what we've learned, here's what we're going to do better. And it should be a collaborative discussion about revenue and pipeline. And of course, there's other topics that you both have. And as a CMO, I've got broader ranging topics than just pipeline, but pipeline is clearly very important and bookings are very important, but you better be lined up. The minute there's a crack between this and the CRO, the board is sharks in the water and they will go after that. And so you can't let those cracks show at the board level and really in front of your CEO. Each of you complaining about each other in front of the CEO, that's just a recipe to failure as well.
Yeah, there's the pre-meetings. There should be one plan in front of the CEO. There's one plan in front of the board.
And the one plan doesn't just start with this quarter. It starts with what is the 3-year plan? What markets do we think we can win in? What ICPs do we think we can win? That has to be agreed to in line. And then when you're talking about resource planning for the year, I don't care where the BDR team sits. It can sit in sales or marketing. It doesn't matter. I sometimes think BDRs would do better in marketing because we tend to be more structured and that's a super structured operational team, but it doesn't matter. But when you think about like investments for the year, what money are you going to put in direct response? What money you're going to put in BDRs? What money you're going to put in sales coverage? That's a model that the CMO and the CRO or the CMO and the head of sales should be working on together because it's all a balloon squeeze on what bets do we have about what part of our revenue engine is going to perform in what ways. So that's a plan that should be, again, incredibly unified. Anytime I see a CFO off planning the revenue targets and the headcount targets for sales and BDRs and marketing isn't in the room, that's in order that you can guarantee that CMO does not have the right seat at the table and they should be out.